What's up, old man?
What do you want?
To finish this, once and for all, me and you.
Good luck. Bringing up the rear, I see.
Only if it's yours.
As usual. See it or skip it.
See it or skip it. See it or skip it. See it or skip it.
Welcome to a new See It or Skip It, where we're going to be talking about F1 Trademark, the movie, plus M3gan 2.0. We're talking The Bear, Squid Game. There's so much to talk about this weekend. And yes, unfortunately, this is the last weekend that our good friend Richard Bonaducci is on the show. But we have so much. What a way to go out, Richard.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, how injured are you after that?
I seriously still have a bruise. In my defense, I thought I was going to be taking photos there. So I didn't take the safety course or anything. And then at the last minute, Patrick's like, let's just drive. And I went, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, but okay. So it's fun. K1 is cool. Check it out.
But you won, right?
It's much more fun when you don't know the rules.
Okay,
Here's the thing.
Yeah, they let
he did
you on.
win, but the rules could have been good for you because there's a trick with this race. K1 Speed and Sandy, by the way, thank you for letting us do that and break rules. Where if you make that track in 25 seconds, they change the speed on your cart to go 45 miles an hour.
45.
So
Is
what
that
happened is
faster?
he did not know he beat the record, and then his cart went vroom.
So they let you go faster if you beat the record?
But he didn't realize it because he didn't follow the rules,
you're
and that's why he
bruised now.
crashed in the end.
I crashed. Oh, man.
So many
It was
times.
nasty.
Can I watch a 2-hour, 35-minute movie about that?
Sure.
That's a great.
Yes, you
Okay.
can.
Thank you.
Kent, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty excited to review F1.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Rebecca, you actually saw it in D-Box, so we all are
We all
experiencing
got
whiplash.
D-Box.
I felt like I was there.
Oh, man. Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into F1 with this trailer. All right, so who wants to start? We got sexy Brad Pitt. We got
Are you
racing.
calling Rich
It's
sexy Brad Pitt over there?
No, I was
Okay.
looking right at his eyes when I said
Yeah,
it, but
I mean,
this
it
is
counts.
this is the dad movie to end all dad
It
movies,
is
isn't it?
the ultimate dad movie. It
Yeah.
is about a guy coming in to school the younger generation and does it with finesse despite a back injury. Like, I don't know. I don't know why this didn't come out over Father's Day.
And gets the girl.
And gets the girl
Don't
who
spoil it, guys.
also works on cars. It's
And he's got a young partner that doesn't want to work with them, and they're fighting for power struggle, and he's
Yeah.
like, you're going to learn, kid.
And at the end, he'll take a nap. 'Cause it is 2.5 hours long.
Which is about what I ended up doing by the time I got home, but not because I was like, I was exhausted from how fun this was.
Right.
Adrenaline pumping.
I did at one point. I leaned forward in my seat, and then I recognized it. I was like, "Okay, don't be that guy."
Yeah.
But it was intense. I was invested.
This has been heavily promoted. It's Joseph Kosinski who did this one. He did Top Gun Maverick as well, and Tron Legacy, if you're a fan.
Dad movies.
Yeah, total dad movies. And this one fits right alongside Top Gun Maverick, almost being a spiritual sequel, right? Don't you think?
Yeah.
Like same sort of format, which is totally fine. All the tropes are so lovable. All the acting's great. The writing's great. I feel like it was more of a dialogue movie than like a story movie, right? Because everyone there is just, they're firing on all cylinders.
Right. Well, and Brad Pitt, his character is basically just Brad Pitt with a back injury, right? Or at least that's how he plays him. And I don't know if that's a bad thing. Like, as long as that keeps going, Tom Cruise can always be Tom Cruise doing his stuff.
Yeah.
It feels like those are like what the movie stars of old used to
They
be,
still
right?
get his shirt off now and again.
Yeah.
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 And I thought what worked with this is there's the mentee, the rookie driver. You should almost hate him from the beginning of the movie, but the story is just as much his as it is Brad Pitt's.
I do want to see another movie that follows Luca Cortez, the other backup driver that they kept putting in but then taking out, because you only see him once.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the action here, because we've got the same level of intensity like Top Gun Maverick. They're really close. You feel like you're in the driver's seat with them, but I am shocked at how all of it looked real. And I know that most of it, if not like the majority of like the big shots of things, probably were a little bit more CG.
There were a couple shots, especially with the fireworks, where I went,
Stunning.
Stop that, because you could see.
Right.
It looked like
Interesting.
it looked like they're not really there.
And I'd like to watch the behind the scenes because it feels like you were there. In fact, I think they were given full access to F1. This is the full season of F1.
Well, Lewis Hamilton produced this.
All right. Yeah, and that's funny. It's you have actual drivers in the races, but they're not characters, thankfully. They're not trying to act. Which
They're
is good.
driving.
Yeah, they're just driving.
doing
But they do
Yeah.
name drop them, and I think that's going to be great for the fans. And that's the thing. Are we Formula One fans? None of us, right?
I am now.
I'm not a Formula One fan, but I am an old British Top Gear fan.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
The subsection of Formula One's like, yeah.
You know, I'll say this. I think it's going to be compared to Ford versus Ferrari a lot, because it's very similar with the idea of, ooh, the owner wants this, the drivers want that, the team's got to come together. Will he drive? Won't he drive? Will he make it? There's a lot of the same thing. And the same way with that movie, you got to pay attention, because I didn't know anything about F1 going in. And luckily, they have an announcer who you hardly ever see telling you everything, telling you absolutely everything you need to know.
About last place. You're like, is this what announcers do? But
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they're just telling you what the movie should be telling you, in my opinion.
Right.
It stops showing and it's telling.
Agreed.
You know
For
what I
me-
mean? It really dumbed it down, I think, for some people near the end.
I think the runtime could have been cut a little bit
For
too.
sure.
It is
There's
so
two
long.
particular races that to me feel so similar that you could have just picked one and it would have still had the same effect. They didn't need to do that second race. But 2.5 hours is a long time for any type of movie, let alone one where your heart's racing for most of the entire time. I know that's great for some people, but I don't want to start taking heart medication stuff.
Well, that's
So-
why you have to see it in D-Box, because it shakes you awake.
Does IMAX have D-Box?
I don't.
Because that would be the
know. That
ultimate.
Yeah, we would.
Right?
Yeah,
Wasn't it shot for IMAX?
it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
yeah.
so you might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that being said, do we have any thoughts on if they're going to do another one, if there's going to be a sequel to these, or is it
I
just going to
hope
move into
not.
another story?
F2.
I'm hearing about a Days of Thunder F1 crossover, truly from Kosinski.
Yeah, that is true.
So we shall see.
What do you want to see him tackle next?
Cruise and Pit.
Yeah, truly. Wouldn't that be the best thing ever?
I think they need to just remake Speed. Just do Speed, put him in there.
On a
Three.
bus.
Yeah.
Yep.
Again.
I did at one point think, oh, he should do roller derby next.
Roller derby.
be okay with
that.
that.
would be the most intense roller derby ever.
Yeah, I am
But
biased
I,
to it.
I gotta say, isn't it Whip It?
Whip it,
Yes.
yeah.
Drew Barrymore.
I mean,
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's
I don't know how
fantastic.
you
It's
can-
not action packed though. Like it would be cool to have the same type of Kaczynski action shots.
So overall, this is a see it for all of us, right?
Movie of the summer.
Movie of the
Movie of the
I
summer.
can't say that yet.
Well,
I
so
think we can.
I left the theater going because I do my rating system out of 5, and I
Yeah.
thought 3.5 is too low, but 4 is too high.
Okay.
I'd give it a 4. if we were doing that.
3.75.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that being said, let us know what you guys think about Formula One. I'm really excited for people to go in the theaters with this, but we'll see if it's the crown jewel of the summer.
Right.
And we still got
Fingers
July,
crossed for
dude.
Superman.
Yeah.
It's got some great ratings already.
Truly.
I mean, just out of the gate.
Well, with that being said, let's talk about killer robots with M3gan 2.0.
Megan 2.0.
Okay. Well, I didn't see it because I was like, I don't know if this is even worth my time. I
you see
wasn't
the
the
first
biggest
one?
fan of the first one.
Okay.
I thought it was it's obviously like a unique story, but it never really gripped me. And the
I would
sequel-
watch 8 more of these movies.
Oh, guess
I
what?
loved it so much.
You will see 8 more.
I-
movies.
3.0.
you will.
It's going to be like the iOS updates. It's going to be
Yeah.
14.2.3.
Now, what works for this is essentially child's play, but a little more like PG-13.
It is absolutely PG-13, and they have removed a lot of the horror elements of it. It is now more of an action comedy movie.
In a Bond facility. Right?
Yeah.
This is 2 robots fighting each other. It's no longer people are getting killed when she's trying to protect a little girl. She is taking on international spies.
But it's fun. Like, they have taken the feedback from the first movie, leaned way into the campiness of it, and I thought it was a ton of fun.
Yeah, I thought it was actually pretty clever because with a sequel, you want to give people a little bit of what they liked, but take it to the next level. I think they did a great job with that. The only thing is they did, as you say, lose a lot of the horror and lean into like sci-fi action.
Yeah.
Yeah, and comedy,
Yeah,
too.
What makes
that's
it work,
funny.
then?
That's funny.
If it's changing genres, what makes it still work?
Megan herself.
Yeah.
For the first half of the movie, I was quite bored. There's just too much explanation, too much catching up, and then finally when you see Megan again, you're like, oh yeah,
Yay,
I
my
like
friend.
these movies because she's a great dynamic robotic character. It just really works.
I did hear, I saw this with real people, not us, and I did hear a lot of people
we
walking
robots?
out. We are. And I did hear a lot of people walking out going, this wasn't scary at all.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm like, they came in expecting Megan 2.
Yeah.
Right?
There's
And it's
there's a
not
risk with
that.
that. If you change up a genre, you have to kind of prepare your audience for it. And
don't know if they
the
did.
trailers and marketing are still geared towards a horror
But also,
film.
here's the thing: the marketing for this movie does not match the tone of the movie because the marketing really portrays her as like super sassy, right? And like she's still sassy, but
not as much.
But not as much,
Yeah.
and it does lean more into like the serious part of Megan, but while also embracing some comedic
And I
aspects.
will say, it gets messy at the end. Like
bit.
they tried to throw in just about everything they possibly could. This double take and this not
The
double
robotic suit and brain
Godzilla versus
analyzers.
Kong.
Yeah.
It's-
EMPs.
No, it's,
This double cross
it's
and that
stupid.
one.
It's a stupid movie, but it leans right into it at the end, right? This wants to be a cult classic,
so
and
much
it may or may not get there. It's just hoping that the audience will say, yeah, I can handle a change in genre.
Okay. Well, with that being said, Kent, you're giving it a seat or skip it?
If you're a horror fan that loves the first one, you're really going to have to go off the Megan character. For me, it's a see it, but for other people, expecting a horror movie, maybe not.
Okay, Rebecca.
Oh, see, I would add it to
Yeah.
my list of movies I love unabashedly. All the Fast and Furious movies, all the Godzilla movies. I would put the
Yeah.
Megan movies
All
in
of
there.
them?
I'm allowed to like what I like.
Yeah.
It's okay. Sometimes movies are so insane and so ridiculous that you dive in and you love it. But what about you?
No, I would say see it too, but just go in knowing that it isn't quite the Megan you think it's going to be. It's not that horror. It doesn't lean on that anymore.
Okay. Well, with that being said, I mean, I might check it out now. You're giving me a little bit more to think about
You
with
can
this.
stream it and be happy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Well, for those going into theater to check out Megan 2.0, let us know what you think. But first, let's talk a little bit about How to Train Your Dragon. So this thing has been a giant in the box office, like literally
Good.
for the past couple weeks, because it's just such a great live action adaptation. And we had a chance to talk with Nico Parker, who plays Astrid
fun.
in How to Train Your Dragon, to find out what it was like working with the original creator, maybe what the differences were versus the cartoon. And she gushes a little bit about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So let's take a look. I'm with Nico Parker of the new live action How to Train Your Dragon. How's it going?
Good, how are you doing?
Oh, so good. I had such a blast watching this, and I'm a huge OG fan, so you did justice to the character, and I loved seeing this. My first question is, now that you've seen like the box office success is happening, and is there a little bit of like a relief to know that just all of the fans have also seen this and are like, this is great, we can't wait for more?
Yeah, there was definitely, there is a kind of like quite feverish fan base. And so we really all of us were very much wanted to get across through the movie and through press and everything, the fact that this movie was like made by fans and for fans. And it truly is a love letter to the animated movies. And so I think there was an element of like, I really hope that translates and that people can feel that when watching it. And so the fact that it was, received in this way and that people have been enjoying it and going to see it and seeing it, more than once. I personally think it's best on the third watch, but that's just me. But the fact that it's getting the reception that it's getting has been really, really special.
It's a special film, and the story is what really shines through all of these. We have the original creator coming back to do this live action. I'm curious, when you're looking at a character that's already been established, let alone working with that original creator, what is the collaborative part of it? Is there a lot of, you have more freedom to do something different? Is he more open to wanting to try new things?
100%. I think the thing that was really wonderful about Dean is because he's made he made the animated movies. He's had 15 years to think about what he would want to change from that initial film. And so going into it, he was totally open to change and collaboration and discussion around characters and looks and costumes and every aspect of everything. And it was really, really refreshing, I think, because there is also a version of it where he's been with these characters for such a long time and he knows the story so well that he would kind of just want to stick to what it was. But he was truly so open to everything and to all of us, and I honestly can't have asked for a better and more wonderful and kind director. He was really, really special.
Last question, kind of tying it into that. What was something that you learned during the production of this that you feel that you're going to be taking on in your career later on, and maybe even in the sequels of what you're wanting to bring with the character?
I think something that I definitely noticed and felt while filming is the kind of how important it is to work amongst and surrounded by people that are uplifting and kind and fine and amazing. And it was such a brilliant cast and crew. And to get to work alongside people as talented and also as wonderful as them is something that I really don't take for granted. And I think that sometimes it feels like if you're not feeling awful at the end of the day, then you didn't work enough. But actually, there was something really wonderful about being with people that just made you feel amazing. So I'm very, very excited that I get to do it all again.
There's a bit of like exhaustion that's like happy exhaustion, right?
Yeah, I think it's totally natural to feel. And, also sometimes it is like when you feel awful at the end of the day, that can be a sign of like you've done hard work and you've done what you need to do, but it doesn't always need to feel as kind of tiring and tiresome as you think it does. I feel like I was kind of under the assumption that if I didn't feel awful at the end of the day, then I didn't work hard enough, and I don't think that that's necessarily true.
I cannot wait to see what you guys are bringing to the sequel. That's my favorite one, so fingers crossed, and I will be there for opening week. Oh,
Thanks,
awesome.
everyone. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, absolutely.
Are you in Salt Lake City?
Yes, Salt
Do
Lake.
you know any of the housewives?
Yes, I do, actually. I've met, so not just the housewives, but the Secret Lives. I met both Whitneys.
You met both Whitneys?
And I interviewed Monica. I know she's not really a housewife anymore, but she's still part of it. And I'm friends with Brittany on Facebook.
Instrumental. Oh my God, everyone's friends with Brittany. And Brittany's got all the friends. Oh my God. I'm a really big fan of the housewives, and so I just had to ask anyone that's in any remote vicinity.
Awesome. Well, hey, part 2, we're going over housewives. That's what I want.
That's where the press tour will be done. Will be Salt Lake City.
Yes. Thank you so much, Nico. You're the best.
Thanks so much. It's nice to speak to you.
Now to talk about streaming, we have The Bear Season 4, which in my opinion, it's Season 3, Part 2, because Season 3 was next to nothing. We got no meat on the bone on this.
Whoa, no beef, so to say.
No beef. I have beef, though. I've got mad beef with this.
Okay.
But I also love it.
It was barely there.
It's becoming a toxic relationship, just like the relationships on The Bear, me and loving this show. So we've got a continuation of what we were looking at in Season 3. The restaurant is in dire straits. The clock is ticking, and everything
Something's
might
going
be
wrong. Crazy.
Hemorrhaging money.
hemorrhaging money, yelling at everybody, trying to work on their mental health. I saw the whole season. I know that maybe just a couple episodes for some of you.
I'm at least halfway through.
Okay, Rebecca, what do you think of The Bear?
I love this show. I've been a diehard fan since season 1. I do think, however, being halfway through season 4, maybe they should end it after this season.
That's the thing. It feels like this story is starting to run its course, and they're not sure even what to do.
And a lot of the stylistic approaches that they take that are like signatures of The Bear, right? Starting to feel really repetitive, like drawn out conversations where nothing is really said, Carmi apologizing and stuttering a lot, and then lingering images of food. Like, gorgeous, excellent. I'm kind of over it now.
There's still a little bit of juice in that left for me, but I think characters have really made their whole arc and there's nowhere else for them to go. So like Richie, for example, Richie's character, I really don't know what much else they can do with him. And you could tell that the acting is always like on par with all the other seasons. Io Debris is incredible in season 4. There's a few episodes in particular that made me go, okay, she's definitely going to be nominated, if not win. But there's other characters that season 3 they focused a lot more on that were really, really good, even award-worthy, and won in some cases, that they just don't really explore in the next season. And that's what makes me think this was one season at one point, and they decided to split it. And that's going to be a running theme of my problem with these streaming shows today.
Well, this one does come out year after year, which is kind of nice, but it sounds like they held back on story, right?
But that being said, like Jeremy Allen,
Jeremy Allen
pretty
White.
amazing.
Jeremy Allen Springsteen.
Yeah,
Yep,
right.
I was about to say Springsteen instead. But that being said, is this something that you think is going to continue to be something you recommend to people, or is it now time to say season 1 and 2 are great and move forward?
Season 1 and 2 are great. Season 3 was pretty good, but now that we're in season 4, it's starting to taste a little stale. So I mean, I don't.
If you need
Yeah.
something to watch,
If you
watch it.
if you love feeling stressed out,
Okay.
If
Don't
you
we all?
love food, and if you love
Yeah.
like the culinary world and like seeing inside the drama and stress in that, they still do a lot of that. And
Okay.
if you love these characters, like it's still worth going and reinvesting in. But it is something to the effect of like when The Office went into season 8 and season 9, and key characters are coming and going. It's tough to really be invested in it. So we'll see what happens. But for me, I think it's still one that people should see just to get a wrap up of the 3rd season, which is technically this one. With that being said, let's move into Marvel Studios' Ironheart.
yeah, talking about tough times in Chicago still.
Yeah, they are still in Chicago. That's the tie-in to that. Okay, so Riri Williams, this is taking place 5 months after Wakanda Forever. So she is basically now trying to fund her suit. She's getting kicked out of what is the
MIT.
Ivy League? MIT, and is essentially dealing with some nefarious people. A group of ne'er-do-wells that are dressed very, very well.
Yeah, how do you get money quickly and illegally? By doing crimes. And so she gets looped into doing crimes. And Alden Ehrenreich is there,
Yeah.
who I love. He was a pleasant surprise, I think.
Kent, what do you think of this?
So I haven't seen this one.
No?
I stopped watching Marvel TV shows like 5 years
Oh
ago.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the
You're
scary
part,
level.
you're part of the problem because here's
You
the
haven't
thing.
seen it either, Richard.
Oh no. I at least watch them.
Two people part of the problem.
Okay, go on.
Kent is done
Ready.
watching.
Because here's the thing, Marvel did not market this, like Disney did
all,
not market
no,
this
right.
show at all. 2 reasons, I think. One, I think they are just trying to offload it. They had a plan.
It was filmed 3 years ago.
It was filmed 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They had a plan, had to pivot, and so they're quickly offloading what feels like all of their Young Avengers stuff. Because
Right.
Okay,
you can
okay.
definitely tell they're building up to Young Avengers.
Sure.
But also, the way properties like this get treated online, even before release, before this show came out, it had a 39% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and nobody had seen it yet. And it's because the way shows like The Acolyte are treated, the way Ms. Marvel is treated, She-Hulk, I think they waited to do any kind of marketing until practically day of to kind of avoid all of the pre-show backlash.
Yeah.
And I think it was caught in a very pivotal point in Marvel where they said we're going to adjust everything. The Kang stuff went down, and now we have to reassess everything we were planning to reassess everything we were doing into it. I still think the performance that she gives is great in this. I think she's a really great actress, and though I wish there was a lot more scenes with her in the suit doing like the Iron Man stuff.
Love that there's no nanotechnology. We get big, bulky
actual suits, right, yeah.
But they do have something with AI that I'm not 100% sold on just yet, just on how it's visualized. But I'm excited to see where they go for the next 3 episodes. The first 3 dropped this week. The second 3 are going to drop off next week. And apparently we were supposed to catch up with Doctor Strange, so magic is going to be involved.
We are getting apparently an internet requested villain.
Oh, I've heard.
We have, okay, let's bless Anthony Ramos. No.
No, it's not him.
Oh. Who?
It's Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh, what? We can't spoil that. Maybe it is him. What if it is? Borat just shows up.
My hood.
Wow. So far, there's 3 episodes. Are they worth watching?
I think so. I've had fun. But I also I liked this character when they introduced her in Wakanda Forever, and I also really like the Marvel TV shows. The soundtracks alone, I think, are so good.
Okay.
And I'm a big Young Avengers fan, so I was really looking forward to the build-up of Young Avengers.
I think it's a good idea. I'm looking forward to it. I wish it was being set up better.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm reserving final judgment, but right now the only critiques are it's written a little bit more like a CW show. But I
What's
still have
wrong
fun
with
it.
that?
And that's kind of my thing. It's what's wrong with it? They made some of the best superhero shows
CW in
ever.
this building, right?
But it's kind of like when you say it has a Netflix look. It's kind of it sets a little bit of a tone for what you could expect.
That makes sense.
But that being said, I think it's going to be something people
It is
will
kind
like.
of silly to see Anthony Ramos in his hood next to everybody else
It looks
looking
like he
normal.
took it from Little Red Riding Hood because it's a little bit higher than it should be, and he's wearing a Gucci sweater with chain, and it's
We're judging
none of
his
this
fashion sense
works.
now. I love it.
Yeah. Well, when you're serving, you gotta take the
Yeah, tell us more about serving.
Serving food. Oh no, we already did the bear. We got to get out of this. Let's talk about Squid Game.
Yeah. So finally we have Squid Game Season 3, which, kind of like The Bear, is just an extension of Season 2. So Season 2 came out, half a year ago, maybe?
January.
A year ago?
So the plan was January.
Yeah.
The first half was going to come out, and then now the second half. But now they're calling it the final season.
Yeah.
When really it was going to be a two-parter.
I don't like Netflix's release
I
schedule.
know, it's a bit strange. This one's only 6 episodes, I believe. And are they finished? Because I've only seen the
Yes.
first 2 episodes of the 6.
So I woke up at 2 a.m. to start watching these Squid
Dedication.
Game shows. Yep, that's honing your craft, right?
Right.
And just finished them literally a couple hours ago. And I do have to say, I don't like the structure of we're going to take a full season's worth of writing, we're going to split it into 2 individual seasons. Nobody liked it when it was done with books, and nobody likes it when they're doing it with television series, especially if the creators right there that already written everything.
You didn't like Twilight 3 and 4?
Part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
That was the thing. But that being said, this creator lost teeth doing this because he was so stressed, needing to write things. It honestly makes me a little sad because there was so much pressure on him after season 1 to give something that's better than Squid Game. And you'd be tasked with something like that, especially if you're the creator. That's tough bar to hurdle. And to me, he does the best he can, but it does just feel like it's a little bit more of the same that we got in the first season, done differently. And it is set up for something else that is not based in Korea. This is a whole different thing in
apparently
America.
David Fincher is going to make an American version that's side by side
And
with this one.
they tee it off,
I
and you
know.
get the person, you get the
I
main
don't
person
like
of
the
it.
deal that David Fincher
I
made
know,
with
make me a
Netflix.
director again.
Do you see they're doing
Mindhunter
a
first.
Social Hunters 2
Yeah,
or Social Network
2.
Just all
written
that
and
too.
directed by Aaron Sorkin? No.
Yes, this is the problem with almost everything. Stop.
Stop. Like Squid
Thank
Game.
you.
I stopped watching Squid Game after season 1 because I felt like perfect ending.
Standalone story.
Yep. Perfect.
So
That's all I needed.
what they do is they go into the bigger conspiracy here, and it's interesting, but it's not dynamic anymore. I do think they establish good characters so that when characters do die off, you care. And that's the best thing the show does, but it should be done by now.
And the hardest part about this season is because a lot of the characters that people grew to love in this last season aren't there anymore.
Right.
Oh,
and
no.
so you're not going to have those top tier characters. You have to completely shift who you think is the main character and connect to them. And maybe you hadn't spent any time really caring about it. There's a lot to be said about extending these things. I wish if it was just one season, maybe I would have loved it even more. It would have felt more cohesive to me. But to I don't know, to recommend this to people, it would be tough to say you have to watch everything first.
Right. Season 1 is a must-watch. This is a watch if you like season 1, kind of. You know?
Yep. But that being said, I did wake up at 2 a.m. because I wanted to watch it, so I know people are still going to check it out.
Go take a nap.
I think the performances still are incredible. There's just tropes and things that are kind of weird to me, but
Played out.
play it out. But that being said, that's everything for streaming, and I think that about does it for our show. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. But before we go, we need to give our boy Richard here a good send-off. So with that being said, roll it.
Next up, film critic Richard Bonaducci is live in studio with us. He's making his GDU debut.
Also the president of the Utah Film Critics Association. He just told us to call him Rich and not Richard. So.
It's all come down to this. The Avengers try and recover and correct the decimation, the snap heard around the universe in Avengers Endgame. For people who want to see the Adventures of Bolt at home,
Is such a thing possible?
It's such a thing as possible. You watched it from your RV, right? Charlize, thank you very much for your time today.
That's so nice. Thank you very much.
Raji, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I like scary movies because I like things that make me feel something.
You're the best friends in the world. Thank you.
Mr. Bonaducci, it's gonna be a little weird not seeing your face around these parts.
Best of luck in everything you do from here. I'm really excited for this new chapter of your life.
Bonaducci, I am seriously gonna miss your face at screenings. You are the true president of my heart, and if you ever need anything, you know you can text me.
I'm gonna miss talking film with you after screenings, but I know you're gonna do great out in Pennsylvania.
You are a gentleman and a scholar, will be missed.
He's always been so welcoming to me and so encouraging. He was actually the first person to give me an opportunity to be on television.
Hey Rich, I know you're going to be missed here in Utah. All the best to you on your new journey.
Thanks for all the years that you were a part of our merry band of movie critics.
I'm excited for you on your new adventure, but I will miss disagreeing with you about movies.
I know you're gonna do great. Wish you all the best. We already miss you.
You welcomed me with open arms, with just a warmth and a sense of humor that made the imposter syndrome that I was feeling feel a lot lighter.
The UFCA without Rich Bonaducci is going to be like the Partridge Family without Danny Bonaducci.
We all did a lot to bring a lot of joy and a lot of insight to a lot of people, and you were definitely a major part of that.
You gave me the greatest advice that I had when it came to going.
Pants? Wear pants?
Wear pants. It's to treat everything like you're basically at a theme park, you know? Enjoy every single moment of it and don't take it seriously.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Holy cow.
Well, Richard, we're going to miss you a lot, buddy.
I'm going to miss all of you very much. This whole thing is great. This has been amazing, this entire situation. I'm speechless.
Thank you.
I'm speechless. And
Take the
flowers
flowers.
and
Snacks as well.
pretzels. You know,
pretzels.
where's my chai?
What's great is I gave you the pretzels at the end of the show this time, so that
That's
you didn't
right.
have to open and eat it during.
You gave it at the beginning of the show, and I'm like, the whole time. Yeah, we learned that too. Oh, wow.
Well, man, don't be a stranger. When you come
I'm
back,
not going to be. We got to talk Zooms. We got to do something.
Yeah.
we'll figure something out.
Okay.
But with that being said, do you want to take us out?
Do I want to? Yeah, I've been meaning to. Oh, yeah. Okay, okay, yes. This has been See It or Skip It, and Kent, where can they find it?
The Bacon Cell Podcast. That's it.
That's it?
That's all you need to know.
What about Showtime Showdown?
Yeah, ShowtimeShowdown.com as well. I've got too many things.
Okay.
Find them.
There's two. Rebecca?
You can find me at Geek Show Podcast.
And you can find me right here, See It or Skip It, and Patrick Beatty Reviews.
I'm going to try to do some stuff while I'm out there, but we'll see. So just find me online, Rich Bonaducci at Facebook, RotoWobo, everywhere else.
We'll miss you.
Thanks, everybody.
I miss you guys, too.
Well, with that being said, thank you, everybody, so much, as always, for watching. Here's a quick look at what we're talking about next week. We'll see you at the next review. Take care.
See it or skip it. 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 See it or skip it.